college intern with the Department of Natural Resources in Orleans. I am interning with the Pickyaw Field Institute in the Environmental Education K through 12 division, specifically working on curriculum development. I'm also currently studying psychology and Native American studies at UC Berkeley.
Okay. I will be asking you a few questions if you do not mind.
Hey, my name is Olivia Rose Williams. I am Karuk and I work for the Cuttings Department of Natural Resources as a Pickyaw Tech 2. And I currently am going to school at Cal Poly Humboldt. I'm a senior and double major in Native American Studies with emphasis in tribal law and government and environmental science and land management with emphasis in planning and policy.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a few questions if that's all right.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm going to be asking you a few questions if you do not mind. Okay. How do you feel about us getting our land back?
I think land back is extremely vital for not only our culture, but just the land in general for everybody that's occupying it, non-natives as well. For so long, there were so many things put into place that repressed our culture, like fire suppression, the dams, just cultural blockers have been really damaging. And part of getting our land back is to finally put into practice our cultural management, specifically cultural burning, removing the dams. I think for climate change in particular, I think it could be particularly, I think it's most important for us to get our land back, to revitalize it from what happened when colonization happened. Land back is extremely important, and you can see that now with the Forest Service trying to get implementing or working with the tribes to implement cultural burning because of the wildfire catastrophes, because the high severity fires are coming through and it's just destroying everything, particularly cultural plants that we use, and then that's affecting the animals, and then everything in our life is cyclical, so when one thing's bad, everything's bad. So getting our land back and implementing our land management practices is extremely important.
Okay. How do you feel about us getting our land back?
I am pro land back. I think that in order to restore the world to a better place and as it was before, it needs to go back into the original caretakers. We have been managing the land since time immemorial, and it was only stopped due to colonization and what it is shown with current land management policies and practices is it's only harming the environment and the people. And as people, we live in it and we thrive on our environment. We can't, if it's unhealthy, when our land's unhealthy and unable to take care of itself, it can't take care of us, and we thrive on each other.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel about us getting our land back?
I think it's really good because we as tribal people use our land for a lot of different things, and it has a lot of resources, and without the freedom of using our own land, we can't practice some of the things that we normally would have in the past. Like we can't traditionally burn, which affects a lot of things like our basket materials, our food sources, and I think it's really great that we're getting some of our land back so that we can start doing more of those things, and helps us get more connected with our culture again.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel about the fish of our river in our rivers?
I think right now, currently, with the dams, and like I said, you can even tie it back to fire suppression because everything is cyclical. I think our fish are struggling. I think we as people are struggling because of it. The fish are such a big part of our life, such a big part of our traditional diet, and not having that because of the dams and the algae from the dams, and it's affecting not just the fish, it's affecting our way of life, and then it's affecting our mental health, the mental health of the people, and I feel strongly about the fish in the river. I love the fish in the river. It's a very symbiotic relationship between us as a people and the fish in the river. We care for the fish and the fish care for us. And when the fish are not healthy, we are not healthy as a people, like as a whole.
That was really heartwarming there. How do you feel about the fish in our rivers?
The fish in our rivers. I feel that they're struggling, and we, as Karuk people, we center around our fish. And when our fish are unhealthy, we are unhealthy because when we don't have fish, we can't eat fish. Fish is one of the best foods for you, and we're not able to fish anymore. They're sick, or there's just not enough for them, enough water for them for it to keep cool temperatures. So they are struggling, and just like us today, we're struggling too. And if we can take care of our fish and provide the home that they need, then in a sense we're taking care of ourselves. We're practicing land management, and everything's really connected. With taking care of the fish is more than just having the dams down. It's managing the mountains above and the creeks because they all are tributaries to it. And when you have blackberries and too many growths of trees at the top, not all the water is coming down into the river as well. And so that's a big part in realizing it, and that's something that Western land management practices don't realize today, is how connected everything is. And as Indigenous people and with our science and our knowledge, that's one way we can help heal our fish and heal our river and our homes.
Okay. Very good. Okay. How do you feel about the fish in our rivers?
The fish in our rivers are really important to us as people and our culture. Fish are a really healthy food source, and when the fish are healthy, we as people are also healthy. And so the dams being in place make it so that we can't have good food, and really takes away from our traditions and our culture and how we used to eat and how we used to live. So yeah, I think fish are really important, and they mean a lot more than what certain people who aren't from the area would think. So I think that if we get people to realize how important they are, maybe that'll help, them to understand us better.
Mm.
And
Okay. Now your final question. How do you feel about the river? What does the river mean to you?
I feel like the river holds such a significant importance to me. Just growing up along the river, the Klamath River was always there, the Salmon River was always there. Swimming in the salmon every summer, swimming in the, well, not, when I was younger, we would go to the Klamath, but we don't do that anymore because of the algae is too bad. Which is like, see, that's sad, and then that's affecting my mental health because I can't do what I did as a kid because of the dams or, because of the algae that's in the river. And the river is, it's part of us. It cleanses us. It's home for the salmon. It's hard to describe into words the feeling you have, feeling I have for the rivers. When the rivers are low and they're warm and the fish are suffering, it's such a hurt feeling inside when there's not really anything you can do because of those policies that are put into place by settlers that took our practices away and are in turn ruining our way of life and our land. And it's hard to describe is all I can say. It really is a hard thing to describe unless you have that specific relationship growing up going along the river, and it gives so much to us and we give so much back to it that when those relationships are not, we can't keep those relationships, not because we don't want to, but because of outside sources. It's so important for us to get our land back for that specific reason, because it's ruining our land, it's ruining the mental health of the people, and everything is tied together, and it's so hard to, as a people to deal with when we don't have the right to manage and to restore everything, which we shouldn't even have to restore in the first place because we were managing in the proper way, but out of my jurisdiction.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Hopefully you have a good day.
You too.
Now for the... Wait, which question was I on?
You asked me about fish.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have bad memory on sometimes.
That's okay.
Final question. What does the river mean to you?
The river is what it means to me. It's my home. It's where I come from. It's where we live, and yeah, it's my home. I love it, and it's not doing too good right now, and so we need to advocate for it because it gives life to so much, and we as Cody people, we depend on that, and not many of us are able to, and it's one way we can center ourselves back is by taking care of the river again, because like I said before, everything's so connected that there's a lot of factors that lead to a healthy environment, and when our environment's healthy, we're healthy, and I think that's something that today's practices and policies don't get, is the placement of us within the world and within land management. And so drawing back onto your own connection to your place is one way to understand how to care for the plants and the animals, is by placing ourselves in these practices and in the life cycle of how we work together. I don't know.
Well, thank you today for all that, and have a nice day.
You too.
Okay. Final question. You ready? Okay. How do you feel about the river? What does the river mean to you?
The river is really important to the ecosystem and culture of people around this area and other areas. The river provides a home and safety for many animals, like our fish. The fish need the river because that's where they live, and when the dams are up, the fish can't be healthy, meaning that we can't be healthy because we're not able to catch them or eat them. And the river is just also a really important part of culture for other reasons. It just is calming and a nice place to be, usually. So, yeah, the river is important to me and most other people too. And so we need the river to be traditional. And
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Don't let history repeat itself. Save the salmon. Yotwa.